I don't know how I feel about this. It's really funny. Moving over to it's tough to be a bug. Rachel has told me many times that, growing up, if you've never ridden It's Tough to Be a Bug or watched It's Tough to Be a Bug, it is very traumatizing for children.
It
Um,
is, and that was another one Olivia
yeah,
hated for a while.
like Rachel told me, Rachel and I come from very different backgrounds growing up. So she tells me like she didn't go to movie theaters growing up. And the first time that she went to It's Tough to Be a Bug, she experienced the 4D-ness of It's Tough to Be a Bug,
Yeah.
especially whatever it is, the bugs that poke you in the butt and on the back randomly in the
Yeah.
show. And she said she was traumatized to go to the movie theaters from that point on as a kid, like, because she thought it was going to happen again. Welcome back to Going Beyond the Castle. We are back for episode 2. We're super excited to be here. My name is Fred, and I'm your host, and I work with Enchantaway Travel. And with me, as always, is my fabulous co-host, Lori Talamo, who works for Mouse Counselors. Welcome back, Lori. Super glad you're here, and we're getting to do this. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great, thank you. How are you?
Good, good.
Good.
Yeah, I feel like last week was a really good kickoff. We got a lot of I got one feedback from my dad, so like he has to give me good feedback, but I feel like you got some solid feedback from some people.
I
Um,
did. I got some feedback from some fellow mouse counselors and some family as well, but
nice.
definitely got some positive feedback for us.
Yeah, so it's definitely last week was a lot of fun. We're here to do it again this week. For those of you who may have noticed, we are now going beyond the castle podcast. Whereas last week we were simply beyond the castle. Um, we thought we did good enough research prior to coming up with a name and pushing everything out. And last Tuesday night, before I published everything and set it up to drop on Wednesday, we found another podcast that was named Beyond the Castle. So we kind of adjusted fire a little bit, and we are now going beyond the castle. Same exact concept, talking about going beyond Disney and diving into all the different destinations that you could possibly travel. But for this episode, we're going to focus solely on Walt Disney World. A couple weeks ago, back in August, Disney had their their every 2 year massive conference in Anaheim, California, where they talked about pretty much all things Disney for 4 days. And one of the panels that they have every year is the Disney Parks panel, which I think every Disney, Disney World, Disneyland, Disney travel person is enthusiastic about is that Disney Parks panel. Because they announce all the big stuff that's coming to the parks. I know I was awake for the whole thing. I think I stayed up until like 2 a.m. because it was on stupid California time. But they dropped a lot of really good. They dropped a lot of really good Disney bombs on what's coming to the parks in the next couple weeks, in the next couple months. I think today we're really just going to dive into Walt Disney World D23 announcements, which I'm super excited about. Um, Lori, any opening statements before we dive in?
Yeah, so I was definitely not awake. 10 o'clock is my maximum, pushing it to stay awake. So I was definitely asleep. But
Nice.
I did see, a lot of things coming through early in the morning. I think you and I might have even texted a little bit about some of the stuff that we saw. And yeah, for sure, definitely in the past, I feel like Disney World has kind of been left with some things to be desired, not as many exciting announcements. So it was really shocking, when I did wake up and see all the things that were announced this year. So super excited to dive into those things. And although, it's just speculation on some of the stuff right now, but we still felt it was warranted, for us to talk about it, even though, it happened, about a month ago, to just, to give our opinions and our thoughts and see
And
where we want to see things go.
yeah, and I mean, we're a couple weeks behind the power curve when it comes to these, talking about D23 announcements. But that's one of the great things about, about Disney fans is everybody has their own different opinions about, things that Disney is doing in the parks, doing at the resorts, doing on the cruises. Like, everybody has their own different opinions, and that's exactly what we're going to give today. Is, we're going to take a look at the announcements that are coming, or the changes that are coming to Walt Disney World, and then we're just going to talk about it and give our opinions. And I think there's no better place to start than at the icon for Walt Disney World, which is Magic Kingdom. Disney dropped a couple great things that are coming to Magic Kingdom, and I think the biggest one that has had a lot of kickback, because I mean, Disney, what they announced 4 different things that are coming to Disney or Magic Kingdom over the next year and some change. And I feel like 3 out of 4 are everybody's super excited for. I don't care who you are, but there's one specifically that you've got people on both sides of the spectrum, and that's the new Cars rides that are coming to Frontierland and Magic Kingdom, right? So for those that don't know, um, back in Frontierland is a quiet little afternoon boat ride that takes you over to Tom Sawyer's Island, and it's just super relaxing. There's honestly not much to do back there, um, but it's a good area to kind of get a break from the crowds and get a break from the walking in the hot sun and the rides. For a lot of people, it's a good place where they take um, their kids and go have lunch. And so that is going away. Disney is completely taking out the rivers, and they're taking out the boat, and they are replacing that whole area with 2 Cars rides. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think one is really um, family friendly, and it's supposed to be kind of ride for everyone. And it sounds like maybe one is going to be more like thrilling and high adventure roller coaster type stuff.
Yeah, that's what I took from because I did a lot of searching and looking to see what other people's opinions were, based on the limited information on the D23 site. But it does seem like one will be a little more intense compared to the other. Not sure, how much it will be,
Yeah.
but definitely seems to be a little more thrilling, and then one to kind of be more laid back.
And I'll tell you, I think this was because one of the I don't know. I had a love hate relationship with this about throughout the whole like 4 hour panel. But everything that Disney, when they were getting ready to make an announcement, they did a huge build up to it, whether it was a musical or a video or it was something. And when they started to announce Cars, I got super excited because I think you and I talked about this last week, but I have personally never been to Disneyland. It is currently on the list to go in 2026 for the next D23 conference, but I have never been. And one of the things I've always wanted to do is go to Disneyland and walk over to the Cars area, because you got Radiator Springs. It's all lit up. Like, it's one of the most iconic parts of Disneyland. And so when they started announcing Cars coming to Disney World, I got super excited, thinking that we were going to get a Cars area like Radiator Springs. And to find out that we were just going to get 2 rides in the middle of Frontierland, I was super disappointed.
Yeah, I haven't been to Disneyland yet. However, I do have a trip booked for next summer. And that's one of the things too. Like the folks who get it, get it. The ones who love Disney, there's so many reasons why we love Disney and the things that it does for us personally.
Yeah.
But I love, Cars was when Braden was younger. It was one of his favorite movies. He loved, he had all the little Cars figures. He'd take them wherever he went. Um, and so, getting to experience these rides kind of brings you back to your kids' childhood, or those who are still small, just kind of living it through their eyes. And
Yeah.
so I think that was why the Cars rides were so exciting for me, is because, to be able to take my son on those rides. So
I mean,
definitely exciting.
don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not excited for the Cars rides, right? Like, I remember when the Cars movie came out, I had to be a freshman or a sophomore in high school, probably. And I definitely love the Cars movies. Like, and I haven't really been disappointed in something Disney has done. I mean, like I said, I've really only experienced Disney World But there's been a lot of changes to Disney World since I started going, and I mean Disney's done a really good job. So like I'm sure they're going to do a really good job. But until we get a full fledged Cars Land at Magic Kingdom, I'm just going to
Yeah.
be salty, which is fine. That's like I said, my opinion. Um,
Yeah, I'm hoping that for now that, we have the two rides and maybe at some point they'll expand a little bit further,
yeah,
and give us an actual Cars Land. That would be pretty cool.
yeah, I'm excited for it. So that's
And I was gonna say when you said that you were a freshman in high school, I'm like, really? I guess that shows our difference there.
so we just
I'm
don't
looking
talk
to
about
looks
age.
like Cars was released in 2006
Yeah, I was a
and
freshman in high school.
Braden was 2, so there we go.
Yeah, I was a freshman in high school. That was the end of my freshman year, start of my sophomore year. Yeah,
Fun times.
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
you get different perspectives.
Yeah,
We're in different seasons of life.
and like I said, I think it's a genius idea to bring cars over to Magic Kingdom. And while we're on the topic of cars, Disney announced this past week over in Hollywood Studios, Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy is actually going to be closing. So it really seems like they're trying to shift the focus of cars over to Magic Kingdom. So, like you said, hopefully we get some expansion on that, and we can talk about the replacement for Lightning McQueen's Race Academy later. I don't know. I'm excited for it. I think it'll be a good. I think Disney will do a good job. So that's
Yep.
what would you say?
I was just saying, yeah, I agree. I,
No.
I think it'll be great. Great addition.
So they're supposed to start working on that sometime next year. So we'll start to, I think, for those that are big fans of Tom Sawyer's Island, definitely get over there, this fall / early winter, before they close Tom Sawyer's Island down. I've never been on it. I leave for Disney in 48 hours, and I definitely plan to stop, take a trip over to Tom Sawyer's Island this trip, and just check it out. So yeah, that's coming early 2025. That they're going to start construction. Also next summer, that's coming to Magic Kingdom is the Disney Magic Kingdom is finally getting a nighttime parade, which I think every Disney World enthusiast has been asking Disney to do for so many years. Because you have the what's it called at Disneyland? Is it called the something electrical?
Yeah, so they had Main Street Electrical Parade
Yes.
um, at Disney World some time ago.
Yeah.
Um, I don't recall the exact year it stopped. Maybe pre-COVID, it stopped. So that one, and I'll tell you a quick story about it, and then you can go back into your content. But one of the things I loved about that parade, a great memory, is and this was before I knew the rule of it's rude to put your kid on your shoulders and stand in front of people.
Right.
And so this was our very first trip that we went on, and Josh had Olivia on his shoulders. And as the parade was going by, Alice called out to Olivia, and she was like, "Oh, how did you get so tall?" And so like that, like she was so impressed that she spoke to her, and so like that was an awesome moment. And so we loved that part of the parade. But yeah, we haven't been able to see it. It stopped, I believe, maybe around 2019. I'm not
Yeah.
100% sure.
I mean, and that's the great things about, we have the Festival of Fantasy Parade right now. Uh,
Yeah.
but I think one of the big draws to, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, uh, Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, like one of the big draws to those is the nighttime parades. Like the massive amount of characters that you get to see, like sitting on Main Street, um, and watching those parades, that's really a lot of people love that's a draw for a lot of people. So I think, it's about time that Disney finally brought, a nighttime parade back to Magic Kingdom. And um, it sounds like we're going to have a lot of emphasis on, some of the more recent rides. Like I see one of the things you put was we got an Encanto coming. It's really cool to see Encanto spreading throughout the parks. just because like it's such a great movie. I mean, how long has that movie been out now? Like 2 years? I feel like it's been out for like 2 years now. Um, La Casita. Um, it's just really cool to see the different. I'm excited to see the different things that Disney's going to bring with this new nighttime parade.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's going to be another, another little aspect for our folks to hang around and watch the evening
Yeah,
parades, especially those with littles. One of the things we don't do a lot is stick around for the fireworks and the evening stuff. Is we use that to go and do rides. However, when Josh and I go in October, I definitely want to do some of the things that we typically don't do. So it'll be nice when they have the nighttime parade.
yeah, absolutely. So, that's going to be coming sometime next summer. Yeah, and speaking of, it's not really a parade, but the drone show that just ended at Disney Springs. I'm hoping, I was really hoping we were going to see some more drone stuff at D23 because if you look at Disneyland California, you've got drones. Disneyland Paris, they have drones in their nighttime shows. We had what was Dreams That Soar? Was that what it was? What it was called at Disney Springs?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm hoping we see some more drone stuff, but that's not related to the nighttime parade at all.
Yeah, that would. I was disappointed too that we didn't get to see that
Yeah.
as well.
Hopefully they bring it back. Like I don't. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously, I mean Disney is a multi-million-dollar company. Um, but I can't imagine they would invest so much money into all the massive amount of drones that it took to make that show and not do something with them in the future. Like I feel like maybe they were just testing out, drones in Orlando to see, how it works, the draw towards the crowd, the crowds that draw to it. Like hopefully it was just a test and we're going to see some more stuff in the future with those drones that they had.
yeah, I agree. That would be super cool, especially if they can do like holiday themed ones, like for
Right.
Halloween or
Yeah.
Christmas. Yeah,
Next up on the list, which I don't really have too much of opinion about. I don't know. Maybe once we get more, I'll feel differently about it. But they are doing a Pirates of the Caribbean themed tavern that's going to be coming over to Adventureland sometime in 2025. They didn't give it an exact date yet, um, but it sounds like it's going to be similar to Gaston's Tavern.
yeah. When I was doing some research, that was based on the concept art that they put out there, which not a whole lot of details, but it does seem like it might be similar to Gaston's, like a village tavern. And I know um, one of the things about Magic Kingdom, being a dry park for the most part. So I don't know if it's going to be, starting to bring some beverages there that maybe some adults would enjoy, or just more of an experience of
Yeah,
a tavern.
yeah. I definitely feel like I would enjoy it. I mean, I don't know. I'm definitely a big fan of Gaston's Tavern, primarily because of the cinnamon roll. Um, but
Yeah, that huge cinnamon roll.
it's on my to-do list for Friday. I don't know. I think for me it'd be a large drawing solely because of the vibe. Pirates of the Caribbean is easily one of my top rides for Disney World. I think it was one of the first rides I ever did between that and Haunted Mansion, but Pirates of the Caribbean is by far my top ride um, for Magic Kingdom.
Yeah,
So what
it's
do you?
awesome. Have you done it? Have you done it during the Halloween parade?
Yes,
I mean Halloween party.
yeah, we did it the second time we went to Disney. We did Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, and we rode it during that with the actual live pirates, which was super
The
cool.
actual live
Yeah, yeah,
characters.
yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah.
But no, I mean I'm excited for it solely because of the vibe, the experience that it's going to give. Because I mean it's Disney; they go all in for experiences and drawing you in and making you feel like you're there in whatever setting you're supposed to be in. So I feel like Disney. I'm excited to see it. I don't know how I feel about the food perspective of it. Um, I'll be intrigued to see what they do with like the food perspectives and the drink perspective of it. But I think it'd be pretty cool. We'll see what happens when
Yeah,
it comes out.
absolutely. Yeah. Now this is the big one.
Oh, this is the one that everybody's been waiting on for 2 years because they made the announcement. They made the announcement back in 2022, and everybody. I think that was the sole reason I stayed awake for the whole thing, is because they made the announcement last year, and I sat through this whole thing of them going back and forth between the parks and the cruises in this park and that park, which did not go well with my OCD, but it's fine. But they announced it 2 years ago, and I thought they were just going to end it. And if you haven't seen the video of D23 and how they announced this specific announcement, like it was really cool how they did it. But this is definitely the one that everybody's been waiting on, and that is a villains themed land coming to Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, I thought it was funny when Rachel said that she was so disappointed throughout the event, and then that was the last thing. And did she miss it, or did she? Yeah,
No,
she
no,
missed it,
she
right?
stayed awake with me the whole thing.
Oh, she was there.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's. I mean, I guess the villains don't really get as much love, maybe.
they don't.
And
But
so this is like super exciting for villains fans out there.
but
And
I mean,
especially because this one is a land. You know,
yeah,
it's not just an
like
attraction.
because
It's going to have shops and
they're doing a two restaurants.
I'm it said shops, restaurants, and thrilling experiences. So I guess since they said restaurants, I would assume it would be more than
Yeah,
one. I don't know if it's
two
going to
rides.
be
I think that's
like
what
a
it
quick
was.
service and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's crazy. Like it's taken Disney this long, and we talked, a couple minutes ago briefly about, Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy ending, and it's going to be becoming a villains themed show. So it
Hmm.
really seems like Disney's starting to listen when it comes to villains because at the end of the day, everybody loves a good villain, and Disney is really good about
Right.
making villains. And I mean, you look at, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. Like, of course, you have the people that are like, where can I see Stitch? Where can I see, Winnie the Pooh or Mickey in his Halloween costume? But a majority of the people are asking, where can I see the villains? Where can I see Jafar? Where can I see the evil queen? Like, that's who they want to see because at the end of the day, going to Magic Kingdom, like it's supposed to be a happy place. And I mean, after all, it's got the title of the happiest place on earth. So you don't really
Right.
see a lot of villains. So I think it's going to be cool um, to see that villains land come to fruition, right? And I think one of the things I'm most interested in seeing is how they transition, right? Um, because Disney's really good about transitioning. I mean, stepping over to Epic Universe, right? If anybody's seen the videos of Epic Universe, how you've got the main area, um, and then essentially as you break off into the different areas, you have portals that transport you, whether it's to
To the
How to Train
experience.
Your
Yeah.
Dragon or Harry Potter or Super Mario, like or monsters, like they have strategically planned how they're going to transition you into a whole new world. And so I'm really intrigued to see how Disney transitions from the happiest place on earth to evil and villainy. Like they did a really good job when it came to transitioning from into Star Wars land slash into the Toy Story area. Like they did a really good
Toy
job
Story
there,
area.
but I don't know. I'm intrigued. I'm really intrigued to see how they're going to do that transition into villains.
Me too. And I'm sure it's going to probably take a while, so we'll be anticipating it for a bit.
Yeah, because they haven't even
Um,
announced a start date, have they?
No, no. The one thing I did see that they had been working on the permits for a while, but they were waiting on the announcement, I guess, to
Yeah,
go out. So hopefully they'll get the permits filed soon. And so once they do that, then I guess they can
yeah.
begin construction.
And I mean, the good news is a lot of news groups out there. Walt Disney World News Today, like they keep an eye on those permits. So as soon as Disney files permits for any of the villain stuff, like we're gonna know. I'm gonna
Yeah,
be
absolutely. I guess that's why they held off
right.
until the announcement, so folks wouldn't
I'm gonna be super
speculate.
salty if we don't see Emperor's New Groove ride because this is and I think that's everybody's opinion right now. Um, Yzma and Kronk, their ride that they go through in the movie, like is a solid like ride that could come to Villain's Land.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
I think that one, that's the biggest, like, I think that's the biggest social media trend I see going on right now is people saying, like, Disney's going to mess up if they don't make an Yzma and Krunk ride, a secret laboratory ride. Like, so I don't know. I'm,
Yes.
there's a lot of speculation out there around what's going to happen just because they haven't given us anything. Um, so, I mean, we'll see. But I think that's definitely going to be the most anticipated thing at Magic Kingdom by far. So we'll see, as details come out, kind of what they're gonna do.
Yep. So the next topic is my favorite park,
Animal
which is
Kingdom.
Animal Kingdom. Yes, I love Animal Kingdom. And I'm just going to say this for folks out there who say, oh, it's just a zoo. And I know we talked about this in our small group. I mean, it is. You have to love animals to go, but
Yeah.
it's just a whole experience. When Josh and I did our first adult trip, I mean, like we literally spent 9 hours just wandering around, taking in all the sights, the shows. I mean, I know that's not what we're talking about today, but it is definitely my favorite park out of all of them. I love what they're doing. Um, with the new Tropical America's Land taking over
Yeah.
Dino Land. And I know there's been some controversy on that, and even within my own family. The Primeval Whirl has been gone for a bit
Yeah.
now, and that was one of Olivia's favorite rides. I think I might have done it once or twice, but I'm afraid of heights. And so, like, roller coasters don't bother me, but
Yeah.
for whatever reason,
That right.
that
Yeah.
ride scared
Yeah.
me. Like, I couldn't handle it,
Well,
but they would go
that's the
on
one
it
that
and
like
just go
does
over.
that, and then like you come back, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, and on the track, the car spins. So, like, you would be
Ooh,
on the track up in the air, and as you get to the end, the
that's
car would
right.
spin
Yeah.
and then go. So you almost felt like you were gonna fall off the track,
Yeah.
and so I couldn't handle it too much. But my family loved it, so that was a big disappointment when they took that ride out. But with replacing Dinosaur with
Fine.
Indiana Jones is huge for our family.
You know, and this is a conversation my wife and I have had a couple times now. Um, I don't I don't see where Indiana Jones is gonna fit into Animal Kingdom. Like it just, I mean, you have the Indiana Jones stunt show over at Hollywood Studios, which is great because they get into the behind the scenes of stunt shows. And
Mhm.
I mean, I just could be missing it. Like maybe when they do the ride, like it's gonna be like, oh, this fits perfectly. But right now, I'm just not
Yeah.
seeing it.
Yeah, it is a little hard to imagine the concept of how it's fitting in there. I mean, I get replacing dinosaurs since
Yeah,
they're kind of replacing the whole land. We do, and our family is as tough as it is on our body. We love riding dinosaur, with the exception of Olivia. She is not a fan, so she's
I'm not
excited
a
that
fan.
it's changing and that she won't have to ride it anymore. And
Yes,
Josh is a
yes,
huge Indiana Jones fan, so this is like big for him. Because and I think we've talked about it before. He's not big on a lot of the thrill rides.
yeah,
Um, so he does love dinosaurs. So this is going to be huge for him because he's like huge Indiana Jones fan.
yeah,
Um, and so I think that's what makes it exciting, you know, for the Talamo family.
yeah. I think, like I said, I don't see where it's gonna fit. But Disney has done some crazy things in Disney parks, and so, I'm excited about it. I'm definitely excited about um, Dinosaur going away. Not the biggest fan of it, so I'm excited for that, or excited for that to go away. I think I'm more excited about Encanto, like just because there's a whole ride that's going to be based around La Casita, and like that
Yes.
is just such a cool concept, even in just the movie. Um, and I'm really like, oh. I can't wait to see what ride they make out of La Capita.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be fun. Hopefully, it's got some music,
Yeah,
kind of similar to Guardians, where you have the fun music going on. Definitely excited about it as well. I think it's going to be super fun. I'm not
yeah, and
sure, and
go
I
ahead.
think this one they said it's going to be relative to like my mind just went blank. Remy's, I guess, in
Yeah,
Rise of the Resistance, where it's the magnetic car maybe that's
yeah,
going to
it's
go
the
through.
trackless ride.
Yeah.
Oh, I like
So
that. That's
those are super fun. So yeah, it's exciting to see what they do with that one.
I think I think I'm also, tropical Americas. Like, I'm excited for the food ideas that could come from this. Like, big fan of, you know, this type of region's food, and I think Disney could do some pretty cool stuff with the restaurants. So we'll see.
Absolutely.
We'll see what they do, and of course the carousel that's coming. That's going to be. They dropped one of the rides, or one of the animals that are going to be on the carousel, didn't they? And wasn't it from Coco or
Kevin.
something? Or was that's what it was? It was Kevin. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm
Yeah,
super
that's
excited for Tropical Americas. Like, it's going to be a really cool vibe, and I think it's going to be a solid replacement for Dino Land. Really solid
yeah.
replacement.
I think so too. We never really felt like Dino Land fit in
Mm-mm.
Animal Kingdom at
Yeah,
all. It was almost like a carnival kind of section.
I think we
Um,
walked through it when we go, but and I've been to Disney a handful of times now. I've ridden T Rex once, and I will never ride it again. Um, but we spend a lot, going back to, like you said at the beginning, talking about Animal Kingdom. Like, we're animal people all day. We got memberships to the NOLA Zoo. Like, during the winter, every Saturday we're there. Not during the summer because it's stupid hot. Um,
yeah,
but, like, that's where it's at for us. Like, Animal Kingdom is a full day park for us because
same.
in the morning, we focus on, Avatar, we focus on the safari ride, and then, we focus on Rafiki's Planet. And then in the afternoons, like, we're walking the trails to see the gorillas and the birds. Like, that's where it's at for us. And if that's not your thing, Animal Kingdom is definitely a half day park. Um, for now, once they build
Yeah.
Tropical Americas, like, easy to say it's going to become a full day park for everybody.
Yeah, and we actually just watched the Lion King show the first time. This was a couple of years ago. I think we were on a cheer trip or maybe a band trip, and we went and did, and I was like, loved it.
Yeah,
So now it's a must, whenever we go, if we can work it in, if we have a whole day. But the Lion King show is super awesome.
it was.
If for those who haven't seen that, yeah,
It's definitely our top. Like, it's a priority. It was super sad for a little bit because after COVID, when Disney World opened back up, they they didn't bring the show back immediately. I don't think. One of the things they definitely didn't bring back was the acrobatic monkeys, which is by far one of my favorite parts of the whole show. The goofy acrobatic monkeys. So yeah, if you have not gotten to see that show, high priority on your next trip to Animal Kingdom. It is fabulous. Like, they just do a really good job with that show.
yeah. And before we move out of the tropical Americas area, and I'll put it up on the Facebook page and the Facebook group, my favorite photo from Dinosaur. And that was when we went with
Is it the
Olivia's
one you
eighth
showed
grade.
me?
No, I'm
Oh,
not going to put that one up.
what? You have
that
to.
was that was a different experience. The
Yes.
one we went for Olivia's eighth grade cheer trip. And so it was me and two other chaperones, and I think Josh and Braden, or maybe Josh was just with us. And a bunch of cheer girls who were horrified. It's
Yeah.
like the best picture ever. So I'll pop that up there, and then I'll consider uh Braden's picture
Yes.
maybe
Well, you can blur out that
with
one
the
part.
smiley face.
You
Yeah,
put it blurred out, and everybody will they'll know. They'll know.
exactly.
Um, yeah. transitioning, staying within Animal Kingdom, I don't know how I feel about this. It's really funny. Moving over to It's Tough to Be a Bug. Rachel has told me many times that, growing up, if you've never ridden It's Tough to Be a Bug or watched It's Tough to Be a Bug, it is very traumatizing for children.
It
Um,
is. That was another one Olivia
yeah,
hated for a while.
like Rachel told me, like, Rachel and I come from very different backgrounds growing up. So she tells me, like, she didn't go to movie theaters growing up. And the first time that she went to It's Tough to Be a Bug, she experienced the 4D ness of It's Tough to Be a Bug,
Yeah.
especially the whatever it is, the bugs that poke you in the butt and on the back randomly in the
Yeah.
show. And she said she was traumatized to go to the movie theaters from that point on as a kid, like, because she thought it was going to happen again.
Oh, the same thing.
Like,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure after the first time, when we went back, maybe the next couple of times, like Olivia would have to sit in my lap.
yeah, yeah, it is. It's an interesting ride, and has it been there since park opening? No, because the park opened in '97. No,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm not good with dates,
I think
so
it opened in the '90s. It's tough to be a bug. It couldn't have been, because It's Tough to Be a Bug didn't come out to early 2000s. But I mean, different times. I'm not, probably more acceptable back then. But it is. I am excited that they're replacing it with Zootopia. Zootopia is by far one of my favorite movies. Um, in the Disney. That was what, 2016. Yeah, it's been around for like 10 years now. Solid movie. So I'm excited to see what they do with Zootopia in It's Tough to Be a Bug. Like, I think it's gonna be really cool.
yeah, I have a client that I booked a couple of years ago, and he's actually going again next year. And his partner loves Zootopia, so he was like, he had asked me over and over. So I was super excited to be able to say, "Hey, guess what?
Yeah,
We're getting some glimpse of Zootopia in Animal Kingdom."
yeah.
So
It's gonna be cool. I'm excited.
yeah,
That's coming next winter. So luckily, by the next time I go to Disney, it should be there. Because I don't know when we'll be back. I might have to plan a trip. Um, let's jump to Epcot, because I feel like there's a lot to talk about at Hollywood Studios.
okay.
I think the biggest thing going on at Epcot right now that everybody's, that's all the buzz right now, is the Epcot, or the test track change.
Yeah, and I don't, for whatever reason, I don't know if I was afraid that of the motion, maybe that I would get sick. Um, but I just rode Test Track for the first time when we went in 2021.
Yeah, yeah,
And so now I know that I can ride it. So I was, I was glad I got to experience before the changes, but it's definitely a fun ride. And I'm super excited to see, the changes that are coming. It just says sometime in 2025. So I don't know if we know
yeah.
yet.
I mean,
Um,
I think they started construction a couple weeks ago. The whole front of the ride is pretty much changed now. I think they're working on tearing down the old uh, logo. They tore down the awning. I think they're tearing up the sidewalk right now. I saw an update on it yesterday. Um, I'm intrigued to see what they do with it, because the artwork that they showed, it should be interesting.
yeah. And
So
it's says the queue is going to have 6 exhibits, and within each room they'll have like vehicles, the people behind the scenes, things like that. So I'm wondering if it's similar to where you walk in through, is that what Peter Pan's queue, where it's like different, where you go through
mm,
different
yeah,
stages.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I wonder if it's going to be like actually different rooms, and as you go into each room it's a different concept, different vehicle.
Yeah.
um,
I
I
hope
don't
so.
remember the queue at all right now.
I mean, I like, I'm okay with the current queue of Test Track. Uh, I mean, getting to build your own car and then essentially testing it out on the track, like, it's a pretty cool concept. So I mean, we'll see what they do with it. Yeah.
Yeah, when we went, I think I can't remember. I think I was in. I don't remember who built that car. I think it was Olivia and Braden that was doing it together. But they made the most ridiculous car that you could make. It wasn't anything remotely like a race car at all. It was silliness.
Yeah. And, I mean, kids, you got to like, you got to just let them have
Yeah.
fun with it.
I mean, and this was like 2 years ago
No.
or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're talking
2021.
16
Yeah. Yeah.
and 13. Yeah.
Yeah. But no,
But it was still fun.
I'm intrigued to see what they do with it. It's definitely on a top must ride thing, unlike Mission Space, which I refuse to ever ride again. But that's a story for another day. Um,
Oh, yeah. I've never ridden it. Don't ever.
nope.
Yeah, I can't.
Spaceship Earth. I think before we dive into the lounge, I think one of the things that we've all been waiting for, which Disney still has not touched on again, is that back in 2019, it was supposed to shut down for a major like update. And now Disney's just kind of like crickets on the whole. Like, we're gonna update Spaceship Earth. Like,
Yeah. And we do ride that one. It's not a must
yeah,
for every ride, but it's definitely, I mean, it's one of those rides that takes you back to your earlier days and, going to
yeah,
Disney. It's one of the things. It's almost like it's a small world. It's one of the things that sometimes
yeah.
you have to do it.
It gets you out of the heat for a
Uh,
little bit. You can just sit there and relax. Like, some people nap on it. Like, it really is a
I
great
was going to
ride.
say I may have taken a nap
Yeah,
before, especially if it gets stuck and you're sitting there
yeah,
for 5 minutes.
hmm,
It's great to take a nap.
yeah.
Great nap.
So I mean, I don't know. I'm intrigued to see if Disney ever actually makes the update, because man, it stops what in the 2000 early 2000s,
Yeah,
1990s.
we need some
Yeah,
updates. Kind of how they've updated Carousel of
yeah,
Progress. So we
exactly.
need to get some updates on Spaceship Earth.
But with that, we got a spaceship Earth inspired lounge similar to Pirates of the Caribbean lounge coming. And
Yeah, and I tried to search. I don't know where it's going to go. I mean, I would imagine that it's got to be somewhere close to Spaceship Earth,
you would
uh,
think,
but I
unless
don't know.
unless they're gonna put it like somewhere. Oh, that fabulous announcement! I'm looking on the Disney app. Unless like I could see them putting it in. I could see them putting it in like where. So when you walk into the park, you've got that little like pin traders place on the right.
Hmm.
Like one of those two gift shops, I could easily see them putting it inside one of those
Oh,
two
yeah.
gift shops and making it that. Because obviously, like, you're gonna want to keep it, like you said, you're gonna want to keep it by Spaceship Earth. And I mean, with everything that's changed over in right on the other side of Spaceship Earth, like I wouldn't think they're gonna put it anywhere there, because you got Communicore Hall, you got the Mickey and Friends meet and greet now. You've got the area where they're doing the Encanto celebration. You've got
Hmm.
creations, like all that stuff. Like, so really the only area that I could see them putting it in without, unless they're just going to build a whole new building to put it in.
Right. Yeah. It says the concept art shows views of the Epcot fireworks within the Imagination Pavilion on the right. The windows shown in the concept look like those that can be seen at the back of the Spaceship Earth building
I could,
near the Walt statue.
okay,
So that's just reading
interesting.
an article online. Yeah. So yeah, definitely be interesting to see where they put it.
Hmm. They don't really have anything over where the first aid baby center is, over back. That's hard to see. You know where that is? Back where when they were doing the, I don't know if you went, but there used to be like a quick service restaurant over there. And back when when they made the big changes to Epcot, they put like all the the fancy artwork that they had in there, and there's not really much going on with it. I could see them doing something with that
Maybe so. Yeah.
because there's literally nothing there. I don't know. Again, I don't, this isn't one that really piques my top, my list of I'm super interested in. You know, I'm not a big fan of lounges, like
Right. Yeah.
especially at Epcot. Epcot is my favorite park all day. Just because I love getting to walk around the countries and explore the different cultures and try the different foods. And
Hmm.
Epcot's where it's at for me. Epcot's my home. Um, but I don't know. I,
Yeah.
I don't see myself being like, let's go sit in the Spaceship Earth Lounge for a little bit. Like, I'd rather go sit
Right.
in
Yeah.
Germany or go sit in Japan. Like, I'd rather go sit in one of those locations. But I mean, hey,
Yeah.
we'll see how
Definitely.
it pans out.
Yeah. Especially during, the festivals,
Yeah,
food and wine,
yeah,
you're going to want to hang out, in that area.
yeah. I think so. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Um, and then I think the biggest shifting over to Hollywood Studios because that's really all that. There's not many changes coming to Epcot. Um, I think one of the biggest updates that everybody's talking about right now is Monsters Inc. coming to Hollywood Studios.
Yes. Their first suspended roller
Yeah.
coaster.
Like, oh, that's just going to be such a solid ride. Like getting to ride through where they keep all the doors. Like, oh, I'm excited for that one.
Yeah. Because Monsters Inc. is such a great movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so, yeah. So it's going to be super exciting to see what they do with that.
Nobody knows where it's going to go, though. And everybody's over here like, they're going to take out Muppets. And we're like,
Yeah, people are losing it over the Muppets.
I just,
Which I mean, I get it. I mean that's one of the iconic things. And then those of us who are a little older, the Muppets were part of
yeah,
our childhood. It's
it's a must
something.
ride. It's a must do. Muppets 3D is a
It,
must do for me every time.
oh yeah, we love it. We do that one as well. And so I mean, so I get the disappointment, but they haven't said that they're gonna
No, and they haven't. Like,
do that.
I don't think there's enough area over there to be honest. Like, I, and it's I mean it's of course it's hard looking at the map through Walt Disney, the My Disney Experience app because they don't show you all of the buildings and roads that are behind the scenes. But I don't think there's enough area over there like for them to do it at. Um, so I mean I don't know. And because I mean from the concept art like it looks like there's going to be quite a bit that's coming. Like honestly, it's going to be more size for like Star Wars or like Toy Story area. Like it's going to be that size, which is definitely not going to fit in that little pavilion where all the Muppets stuff is.
Yeah. Yeah, they're speculating to begin construction in early 2025. So hopefully that means we'll have some
Update soon.
indication of where it's going to go. So
I'm
that way,
yeah
we can get in. If it is Muppets, I'm definitely going to go in
yeah
October to get, just in
yeah.
case.
We plan to
Uh,
do it. My children might be traumatized after watching it, but we're definitely planning to do it when we go next weekend.
yeah. You need to get them some, bring one of those, like sleep masks
Oh, there we go.
instead of that, like headphones,
Yeah.
bring a sleep mask and just say, hey, put this on and then you don't have to see it. So mom and
My
dad can see
children
it.
won't sit with that on. They've got severe ADHD. So yeah, Muppets definitely. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with Muppets because the concept art looks really great, and or not Muppets, monsters. Um, I think it's going to be a solid area. I'm super excited for that one. It's probably number two next to villains. Like definitely excited for that one.
Yeah, and honestly, for me, Hollywood Studios is typically a half park day.
Yeah,
However, the Toy Story Mania is my absolute favorite ride.
we haven't ridden it
I
yet.
love it. Oh man, it is like you talk about like we're not really competitive, our family, but when I get on that ride, I am trying to beat them. I'm trying to beat the fam.
So
So
going off topic here because we're obviously supposed to be talking about Disney 2030, but how does it compare to Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin? Like it's the same concept. It's just
no, it's so much better. I don't know what it is. So I don't know. I just it's easier to me. It's not I mean at the end, you're on you had have your arm prepared
Yeah,
because you're gonna go at it to get those extra points in. But I don't know. I mean, I do love Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin. That's a
it is a
mouthful.
mouthful.
But for whatever reason, I don't. Toy Story Mania is just I love it. It's my favorite. Except when you have a child who's in there with, and I'm saying child lightly because my kids are teenagers,
Right.
where you can spin it, or maybe
That is Space Ranger.
that's
Yeah,
Space
that's the
Ranger
one where
spin.
you
Yeah,
move it yourself.
they do it on purpose. So
Of course
now
they
I'm like,
do.
I'm not riding with you again if you're going to spin it
Right.
because they're just spinning it like
Of
crazy.
course.
Yeah, wrong one, but no, I love Toy Story Mania. It's my
I think
favorite.
we're gonna try it out this
Um,
this coming trip. So there's I don't know. I feel like, of course, this next trip is going to be totally different for us because we've done Disney with parents, and we've done Disney with infants because we took the girls when they were 4 months old. Um, but this will be the first time for us going with kids, like
with
toddlers.
toddlers,
So
yeah.
like, there's a lot of things that we're trying differently this time that I think I'm really excited for this trip. But we'll get into that on our trip recap once we come back.
Yes, I'm excited for that,
Uh,
to hear all
and then
of it.
the last major, I wouldn't say major, the last update that D23 announced was the Mandalorian coming to the Millennium Falcon Smugglers Run. Have you done Smugglers Run?
Yes. So Rise of the Resistance is my favorite
Yes.
of the Star Wars
Yeah,
rides.
absolutely.
I can do Star Tours
Hmm.
once, but I do like Smuggler's Run. I get a little, so I take motion sickness medicine before I
Yeah.
go for this particular reason. I do like it. It's fun, but again, depending on who your pilots are.
Yeah.
So if it's a rough ride, then sometimes I get off. I'm like, okay, y'all can do it again. I can only go
Yeah.
once. But it is fun. I have not watched the
Oh,
Mandalorian show.
solid,
Josh and Braden
solid
watched
show.
it. I don't. Yeah, so maybe I'll watch it since it's not anticipated to come out maybe in 2026. I'm not sure when the updates will
Yeah.
be. Maybe I'll try to watch it before then. But I haven't watched any of the Star Wars movies. But I love Rise of Resistance. So I don't feel like you have to know the movies to enjoy the
You
rides.
don't, but I'm still gonna have a conversation with your husband and discuss you
Yeah.
not having seen any of the Star Wars movies. I'm a Star Trek
Oh,
fan through and through. That's what my dad raised me on. But I've still at least seen all of the Star Wars movies.
really?
Yeah.
See, I did that with when I was going to Universal for the first time. I tried to watch the Harry Potter movies because I hadn't watched those either. I think I only got to like three, and I was like, I'm done.
Gryffindor.
Or, is that what? Yeah. But yeah, maybe I'll have to check it out.
Yes.
So, do you have to watch the Star Wars movies to be able to watch Mandalorian, or can you just watch that separately?
The Mandalorian the Mandalorians play a very small role in the remakes, episodes 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. Yeah, because they went backwards. They went 3, 4, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. So they play a small role in the 1990s versions of Star Wars, the episodes 1, 2, and 3. But I wouldn't say by any means you need to be like, if you somebody can tell you what a Mandalorian is, and you'll be fine to watch the entire series.
Gotcha.
And if you know what Yoda is or who Yoda
I
is,
do,
yeah, I mean everybody knows who Yoda
and I
is. So
know.
then you're fine.
Yeah,
You can watch the whole series and you'll be fine.
gotcha.
I think for me, like
Great.
Star Wars Smuggler's Run is not a. I think I wrote it twice right after it opened because it opened in July 2019 and we went in September 2019 and I think we wrote it twice. It was I mean it was okay, but kind of like going back to what you said, like every time I love my kids, I don't love other kids. Every time that we got on that daggone ride, there was some 12-year-old that did not know how to drive. And it was just the word I sat in the back as the engineer just pressing a button every couple seconds. I was like, well, this is fun. So
Right.
it's not a must do for me, but I'm excited to see the Mandalorian coming, getting a bigger role inside Hollywood studios. It'll be pretty cool to see that. Hopefully we get to see more because I think you have the Mandalorian and Grogu walking around Hollywood studios. They did the last time we were there.
So let me ask your opinion. Do you think on that ride that the pilots are actually
Actually,
like making it move the way that it does? Because I'm always I question. I'm like, okay, is this just really how the ride is, or can they manipulate kind of how rough it is?
I like to think that you're actually flying it, like you're the one actually making it, but at the same time, like too, like well, I don't know. What I was going to say, I take back because I mean, it's just like a video game. That's all you're playing. It's just a
Yeah,
life-size video game. I mean, I think you could
yeah,
you could,
I think so. But
but at the same time, I'm sure Disney has some control over, just like any video game you do. The creator has somewhat control over the overall experience.
yeah, we'll see. Maybe when Josh and I go in October,
Ride it
maybe
again.
we'll get to be pilots, and then we'll see. Because usually I just let the kids do it.
If
So I've never actually been a pilot.
just tell the cast member that if you don't get to be the pilot, you're going to go on the My Disney Experience app and file a complaint about him.
There you go.
There. But no, I think that's all the updates. There's a whole bunch of other updates that are coming to Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line. There's a whole lot of updates that I
Yeah,
mean,
a bunch of movies.
that's the D23 Horizons panel started at 8, 9, 8 o'clock, and I mean it went till like 1 a.m. So like it was a solid 4 hours of announcements. So
Yeah,
yeah, there's a lot of good things coming. So we'll just kind of see how they pan out over the next couple of weeks and the next couple of months. See what announcements Disney continues to make about the changes that are coming to Walt Disney World. But I think it's definitely for the better. Especially with Epic Universe coming in, which I'm super excited about. We definitely have to talk about at some point. Solely because I'm a massive Harry Potter fan and put the Harry Potter movies on in my house just about every weekend. Um,
no,
but I think Disney World has got a lot of good stuff coming.
yeah, and it's all the more reason to keep booking trips because you got to experience the new things.
Or just because that's where you go for therapy. But same thing. Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
all right. Well, cool. I think that about wraps it up. We have updated most of our platforms. I think, as always, if you're looking to find anything out about Going Beyond the Castle podcast, you can find us at beacons.ai/Going Beyond the Castle. That has all of our links to all of our podcasts, whether it's on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, Pandora. Our YouTube channel's on there. I think our updated Facebook page is on there. Because of Facebook stupid rules, we haven't quite been able to update our Facebook page yet. So that is still Beyond the Castle podcast, but we'll get that updated soon. And then is our email still the same for now?
Yeah, I haven't changed the email yet. So we'll leave it at info@beyondthecastlepodcast.com for now. And then once we change that over, I'll be sure to update that announcement.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so definitely make sure you're following us. You can follow us on our Beacons. You can subscribe on our Beacons website, and any updates that we get, we'll push out an email through Beacons. And then, of course, you can join our Facebook page, Beyond the Castle podcast. We also have a Facebook group where we just joke around, talk crazy things Disney. That is Going Beyond the Castle podcast lounge.
Lounge.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
lounge. So definitely make sure you're following us on all of our pages. What are we talking about next time? Have we figured it out yet? We're doing our trip recap,
Um,
right?
yeah, let's do a trip report.
Okay.
I'm excited to hear, your favorite restaurants of all the ones that y'all are trying. I know y'all are doing a lot of character
Yeah.
things. So I think it'll be fun to ask you some questions and get, especially with you traveling with toddlers. I
Yeah.
think that'll be good for listeners who have little ones to see how to navigate
Yeah.
what to do and what not to do.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. We'll check back in a couple weeks. Make sure you stay up to date. All things Going Beyond the Castle. Like I said, at our Beacons on our Facebook page. And until then, we will see you guys next time.
Bye.
Thank you for being part of this enchanting journey with us. Stay connected by following us on Facebook at Going Beyond the Castle podcast and joining our community in the Going Beyond the Castle Podcast Lounge Facebook group. For all your travel needs, contact the official travel agents of the Going Beyond the Castle podcast at info@beyondthecastlepodcast.com. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. Until next time, see you real soon.